I want to show you two things that I think are pretty unique to how I approach scales, just the way I look at it. Not earth-shattering stuff. What's the one thing that's going to get me to a little bit faster? For beginners, what's the one thing that will help me remember all of the fingerings? Okay, those are the two things I want to talk about today. How to get faster, how to remember all the fingerings. Let's start with the second one, and then we'll talk about speed a little bit. There's a simple solution for what your fingerings should be. This is a little thing that I made. It's a fingering guide on the circle fifths. These scales here are all the same. They're really easy. So that's like almost half. Already we're doing really well. First of all, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's all you need to remember is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So C major is kind of the guide. It will teach you how to play all of these. Once you get to B, then it's going to teach you something really interesting. And this is the problem that comes up when you have a scale that starts on a black key, like F sharp, for instance. People go, what finger do I start with? You don't. A rule of thumb, get it, is not to put your thumbs on the black keys. Then you're problem solving a little bit for this F sharp major. What's your pinky for? It's a substitute thumb. It wishes it was a thumb. Just kidding. When you're playing a scale, you don't need your pinky very much. All it's good for is turning around. It's just the turnaround finger. So if you're playing along and you go and you want to turn around and go the other way, you would play your pinky, right? If you're going to go multiple octaves, you would use your thumb again. When you play C major, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, G major, same exact thing. D major, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. A, E, the same thing. B is the special one, and I want to just point out this key here. When you look at all of the 5 sharps, how many black keys are there on the keyboard? There's 5. I mean, within an octave, there's like 36 black keys this way, 52 white keys. And what I like to do is think about B major as the teacher. B major is going to show you what to do with your fingers on the rest of the keys. So if you're going to play F sharp major, you just have to remember, where did your fingers go? These 2 fingers went on these 2 black keys. These 3 fingers went on these 3 black keys. So for the rest of the scales, think about that. So if I play F sharp major, it starts like this. These 3 fingers on these 3 black keys, these 2 fingers on these 2 black keys. There you go. Now you go, okay, C sharp, same thing. These 2 fingers here and these 3 fingers here, and thumbs on the white keys. Okay, that works for the ones that have all of the black keys, but what about scales that don't have all of the black keys? Like A flat. A flat only has 4 of them. Well, you notice like where the fingers were? These 3 fingers here, one of them happens to be on a white key. Start with 3rd finger. These 2 fingers here. So it's like you've got fingers assigned to the black keys. E flat, same thing. These 2 fingers here, these 3 fingers here. We're going to start with the 3rd finger on E flat. And it just happened that 2 of them needed a white key, right? We got this group and this group. B flat, same thing. Start here. There just happens to be 2 white keys in it. There's 2 white keys in this group and 1 white key in this group. We've assigned where your fingers are going to go on the keyboard, and it doesn't matter what key you're playing, your fingers are still going to go in that spot. 2 fingers on the 2 black keys, 3 fingers on the 3 black keys. It's really simple. It's really simple, except that in this hand, in the left hand, there is an exception that you need to know. And the exception is right here, where the fingerings are green instead of red. And that's all I wanted you to see. When we do this, you've got 3-2 on the 2 black keys, 4-3-2 on the 3 black keys in the left hand, just like it was in the right hand. When I play B major, F sharp major, C sharp major, these three keys for the left hand are the exception. So the rule that you need to remember here is don't cross over to a white key. Don't. So if you did the normal, these three fingers here, these two fingers here for A flat, what happens is you could go 4 over and then third finger here. You can do that. It's just a little awkward. It just feels a little funny. It comes out perfectly normal, but I think to facilitate speed, we're going to try to avoid awkwardness. We want to get rid of anything that feels awkward. And so for these three keys, A flat, E flat, B flat, don't cross over to a white key. And the way you solve that, right? See, I've just crossed over to this white key here. The way you solve that is by putting your fourth finger over sometimes. Fourth finger here. However you need to solve it, there's only one solution for not crossing over to a white key, and that is just reassign some of the fingers. E flat, same thing, crossing over there. 3 here. B flat, same thing, cross over to the black keys. And you're gonna have a group of 3 and a group of 4 fingers. Figure that one out, okay? So it's not very hard. You just remember a couple of rules. Don't use your thumbs on the black keys. Pinky is the turnaround finger. There's only one scale fingering. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't always start on the same spot. These 2 fingers on the 2 black keys, these 3 fingers on the 3 black keys. And there is one exception for the left hand, which is A flat, E flat, B flat. Don't cross over to a white key. And that sounds like a lot now that I say it out loud, which is why I made the little diagram for you. I want to talk about speed a little bit now. Get yourself a metronome. It's a little bit quiet. This metronome is very quiet, so you might not be able to hear it. But what I'm going to do is show you my number one trick for going faster, and that is to practice in 9s. I'm going to go at 138. That's a pretty healthy click, just to show that I can. Okay. Haven't done this in a while. What I want you to pay attention to is when we're practicing scales, I'm not going to try to just bust it out. I'm not just going to go, because I'm pretty cold right now. And what I'm doing is I'm just playing 1 octave and stopping on the 9th note. 8 notes plus 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm playing E major because I like E major. So the next 9 starts on the F sharp. And I'm not changing the fingerings or anything. I'm just using the fingerings that I would be using if I was doing 4 octave 16th notes and going from the F sharp. And I like to do several times. And then I'm going to go from group 1, group 2, group 3. And then the turnaround is the hardest one. Going from the top and then just practicing that turnaround, because there's something that has to happen with the wrist here to get that even. And that's really the hardest spot because it's just a 5-finger pattern. And honestly, we underestimate how difficult it is to play just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then this group of 9. And then this one. This one. Okay, here we go. 138, up and down. Same thing with the left hand. You do the same thing. You just do 9s. You notice I take a breath every time I start. Ooh, that was a little uneven. So what you can do when you've got these groups of 9, and I love this, is it's so much smaller. That one was bumpy. I felt something happen there. And then since you've got a second there, practice working that out. Again, the hardest part is the turnaround. Left hand is way up here. You're crossing your body to do it too. Okay, I'm rushing through here, but I would definitely give each of those segments several playthroughs. And you're just listening. Is that even? Did that feel good? Can I make that one gesture? How can I do that so that I feel more relaxed? How can I make that feel easier for myself? And what you're doing is you're blocking things out, stopping yourself from feeling tense, because tension is what slows down your speed. So if you're doing things in smaller segments, then you can do that. What you can do then is add it together. Like if you want to do 2 blocks, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, however many you want. And then when you've combined groups, however you want, there's hundreds of ways to do this. I guess there's maybe dozens of ways to combine the segments. There's maybe 5 ways to combine the segments. And you can do them all. You can figure that out. And then if this clicking is just driving you nuts, what you can do is split it in half. And what you're trying to do is like each click is a segment. And just making sure you're landing on the click. Ooh, that was a little fast. So one time I was training, I was younger, I was training for a marathon. I had this idea, I was like, I'm gonna run a marathon. I've never run a marathon. I've attempted to train for it a couple of times. Once I got to like 15, 16 miles in the training process, and I thought, who needs to ever run this far? I've gotten my scales, I could approach 200 beats per minute, which is pretty fast, it's cooking. And when I got there, I was kind of like, why does a person ever need to have played their scales this fast? Like it takes some work, it takes some consistency to show up. And it's never come up in the repertoire that I've played, where I had to play 4 octaves of scales at 200 beats per minute, 16th notes. It just never has come up. Do you have a piece that you'd like to play that fast? Great, practice that piece to go that fast. It takes some work there. What's your aspiration as far as speed? However far you want to get. You don't need to practice all 4 octaves at once. Practice it in 9s. That's what I'm saying. It's like slow it down, practice it in 9s. Okay, this was quick. I just wanted to run through just a couple of my thoughts about this. First of all, don't buy a scale book and practice in 9s. There's 2 little tips like that. And I have a whole course called The Scales Solution, where if you're like, okay, this was over my head, I'm gonna break it down for you chunk by chunk, level by level, to build up your scales over time. And it's not a weekend course. You're not going to go from like 0 to hero. You're not going to go from like beginner to I can play 200 beats per minute over a weekend. You could come back to each level for a weekend. It's there. It's there for you in the Scales Solution. So that's there for you if you're interested. All right. That's what I have to say about scales today. That's fingerings and going a little bit faster. Okay. Bye.